Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll. Time to rock it from the lake to this chapel. Is that me, or does this sound just like another chapel speech? Well, this time it's from your DJ. I'm Emre Erkaya, and it's 10:09 a.m. What does the O stand for? Oh my goodness. It's so early. Are you guys even awake here? I'm not. I don't know what you guys are on. But speaking of that, let's hear it for the warm weather sports. Have you guys been noticing the bizarre scent wafting from Pole South lately? I know who I'm looking at here. Yeah, it smells like teen spirit infused with sweaty rugby cleats. Speaking of spirits, our senior students, our spirits seem to be suffering from a serious case of senioritis. Symptoms include chronic procrastination and an allergic reaction to homework. Oh. Now, teachers, I'm looking at you, my lovely teachers. I know my diagnosis is biased, but there is one solution. Maybe not, but you're not here to listen to a speech, and I don't want to give a radio show all morning, but you will receive a different type of blurting, and blurting. Now, you may be sitting there wondering what kind of energy has gotten into me today. So, let's clear things up. As modern language goes, it's not that deep, right? LOL, stop the cap, and the one I really don't understand, you boys. I'm looking at you. Why do you say that? Now, well, I'm trying to be different. Usually, I'm not the one for slang or beyond the norm activities. I'm the guy whose shirt is always buttoned up to the top. My shirt is tucked in all the time. I don't wear my pajamas outside my bedroom. Why should I? They're pajamas for bed. Guys, you wear it on dress down days. And I've only been late to class once, entire time here at Appleby, and that was to my first Zoom class with Mr. Pulford. He locked the Zoom meeting. I didn't have the passcode. Now, I want to share my social development story. But how can you understand someone else is truly changing and growing? How can they be different? How could you really know unless you're inside their minds? I'm here to explain my social development. Hence, I must give you some background context. Here's my social odyssey. Yeah. Grade 8, new school, new land, new accent. Guess how many friends I have? 4. Okay, that's a lot for me now. The greeting of the year is good even in COVID, and I couple that with how you doing, COVID. Grade 9 rolls around. I'm stuck in my room. I'm not motivated to expand my circles and meet new people. I can justify this with COVID. Yet, there's this urge in me to change, and I'm not happy with myself. Now, I have 2 problems. I judge people for their ideas, and I'm not confident enough to approach others. And when I say judge, you know it when I judge. It's in my eyes, you see it. So come grade 10, everything starts to shift. I have upgrades. I have made my way to a broader friend group. And they truly support me. I feel it. And I finally understand the appeal of having more than 4 close friends. As school doors close mid-June, literally a personal revolution starts. And June 16 was a life-changing day for me. You should have been there, but you were on your trips back to vacation or whatever. While everyone went on holiday, I had my first day of summer school in Boston. Lovely. I wrote an exam, physics, and there I am, back to school. It will start 7 weeks of economics and moral philosophy. Each day spent studying, writing essays, and reading centuries old text. Now, I loved it so much that I went there again this year. Now, you may think that this was a waste of my precious summers. That was my last one before university. but it changed my life so drastically that all of you are stuck here listening to a speech for 15 minutes. To start with, again, I'm an extremely judgmental person. I really learned this about myself in the careers course after taking that, what's it called? The Myers-Briggs personality test. After 20 minutes, it knows me like I'm their best friend for years. Now, I turned out to be an assertive commander, On the website, there are entire paragraphs explaining how I can be overtly blunt, too judgmental, and make people uncomfortable. Well, it is true, and I've been trying to work on it, but come on, it's not that bad, right? That's what I thought. Well, one thing I noticed is not liking people because I judge their ideologies is just wrong, but I come there much later. And I think I was able to justify this because I took our ideologies and said, well, we grow up with them. They are given by our parents, by our friends, and they're stuck with us, right? So if you can't change that, maybe I just won't like you as a friend. But here's what I realized over time, that social media is in our lives, and we constantly see trends pop out on Instagram and TikTok with many influential speakers spreading polarized views. Now, who has TikTok watching, and who watched TikTok this morning? Let me see it. Yeah, I see a few. Have you guys seen the Pedro with the raccoon jumping around all over the place? Now, that's a trend. I don't know what the philosophy behind it is, but studying this philosophy has allowed me to analyze people's ideologies and problems from what feels like 17 billion angles. This approach allows me to go beyond mere listening to words and truly engage with people's underlying ideas. Sometimes it helps me understand that people subscribe to an ideology without understanding what it really means. Like, this is where separating ideologies within people come into play. We might have clashing ideologies, but we all have something to learn from each other. So, let's see if I can act as an influencer and give you all a potential ideology to subscribe to. I want to sell you happiness, my favorite feeling in the world. And I will do so through Aristotle's concept of eudaimonia. You're in for a Dr. Panev-style teaching. Now, it translates to flourishing, and it's achieved through being virtuous. In his philosophy, virtue refers to a trait of character that leads to good choices and is manifested in habits. Now, they are qualities that enable a person to live in accordance with reason. Virtues are about balancing excess and deficiency, a concept known as the golden mean. So, like, beautiful, right? It's golden. Well, for example, courage is a virtue that lies between the extremes of recklessness and the deficiency of cowardice. This is a summary of his philosophy, and it sounds good. If you do just enough of everything, you will be happy, right? Just don't eat too much sugar, but eat some, and you'll be happy about it. But now listen to this. The same guy, he argued that women were biologically and rationally inferior to men, that they're destined to lead a life of domesticity. In contrast, only men could achieve the highest form of political and philosophical life. We know this is incorrect. It's wrong to act upon, but we still listen to Aristotle, right? Well, we choose to make these decisions every day to support or not to support people. And we are usually hanging out with people with similar views and not those who push ourselves outside our comfort zone. Now, let me see the audience. All my friends here are sitting together. I see many people from previous chapels sitting together. Why? You're comfortable doing so, right? Because they're your friends, you know each other. But I experienced the benefit of setting my differences aside firsthand. One of my significant friendships began in my moral philosophy class. She was vastly different from me in nearly every aspect, politically, emotionally and culturally. Yet our shared curiosity about each other's lives started to bridge our friendship. At first, interacting with her felt difficult, but she ended up being my best teacher, as I learned that I must be in touch with my feelings and ideologies, and must respect others no matter if I disagreed or found errors in them. Can you imagine I learned this in grade 10? No wonder I had 4 friends before that. Empathy. These experiences taught me that there was something I had to change about me. But I'm not sure where I have to come from. And this lesson didn't decrease my level of judgments. You see that being different is sometimes good. But of course, I had to change something, didn't I? Now, I figured out how to fix my ideology problem, right? Judging people. But now I have a confidence problem. How do I figure that out? My family there figured something out. If they want me to do something and do it fast, make it a competition, and I am going to fight for that gold medal. They're smiling because they know what they're going to do to make me cook at home, yeah? So I now had a new goal. I had to meet half the population of my program of 500 people in 2 weeks. And man, did I get that gold medal. I'm at 300, but the way I got it was questionable. Anyways. But there was many factors helping me, mainly when 500 people from entirely different backgrounds converge for 7 weeks in a place where none of them know each other, but all share a passion for curiosity and learning. Something magical happens. It's like throwing 500 different ingredients into a pot. Boom, you're supposed to get something interesting, aren't you? Like, it might be a nuclear bomb for all I know. Now, let me create a picture of what my challenge looks like. You're in a grand Harry Potter-style dining hall called Edinburgh. There are 8 people tables of around 60 of them, I think. I decided to play a little game each meal. I will set up my tray to have 3 courses. I eat a lot, but I don't know, I'll sit in a different table for each of my courses. But if you can imagine, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? Imagine someone comes to your table, eats their salad, says, "Good day, let me go to the other table to eat my steak." Then my dessert, and then, of course, this looks unorthodox, but here's my thought process. If I treated these 7 weeks like a school year, each meal will be an opportunity to meet 3 times the people I normally would. And I explained what I was doing to everyone. And with a few core friends, I started matching people based on their interests and courses. This created numerous new friend groups, and we naturally became a central part of this new social web. I took this challenge even further. I invented a game called Lost in Boston. Now, get this. We hop on the red line, like some metro there. We roll the dice. It says 6. Okay, we go 6 stations. We get off. We put our phones on airplane mode. No Google Maps allowed, and we get back to campus. You think this is easy, but Boston isn't a great city like New York. And it was challenging, but we tried so many new things there. We ate different foods. We went to small shops. We met some interesting people. But it was scary, but it was also thrilling, and it pushed us out of our comfort zones. When you think about it, we are also socially lost in our teenage years, and we must enjoy the process of discovering ourselves. Because how do you know who you really are until you lived more than 17, 16, 15 years? Because do you even remember what you were doing when you were 5 or 3, what you were thinking? You can't. And all of these experiences taught me that courage isn't about being reckless and climbing statues to attract attention, or completely cowardice that causes me to sit in a corner alone. I had to find the median, which might remind you of Aristotle, but you can go a bit extreme too. After all, change is not about stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's about ejecting yourself from it at such a high speed that there's no way you're going to come back normal. I mean, strap some boosters to your legs. Come on, let's go. I'm getting tired here. And this kind of courage builds character, friendships, networks, and memories that last a lifetime. Now, I got motivated to share my story to you when a friend from Appleby showed up at Edinburgh. I can't see her right now, but it was an interesting time. Now, I stood up with my friend and went to a random table with 3 people I'd never met before. And before I knew it, we were discussing how to arrange transportation to an Ed Sheeran concert. Now, I like music, but I don't like enough to like Ed Sheeran. I know there might be some fans here, but why not try something new, right? And of course, now the story I told you so far is flowery, but there's no perpetual sunshine. No, it's not possible. The moon needs to come up sometimes. And as my confidence and extroversion grew, so did my egoism and hedonism. Now, these isms that are as challenging as they're intoxicating to navigate. Now, meeting hundreds of people while succeeding academically created a euphoric state, making me feel as if I had the whole world on a string and I could control everything. But this euphoria only lasts so long. The program ended, and I came back to Appleby. Now, I found that the environment here was different. My changes were not as readily accepted, and it only made sense. Like, my friends knew the old me, and here's the new me. And this created anxiety within me too, because I became afraid of being an outcast. During the summer, my peers will look me in the eye and say, Emre, you did X, Y, Z. Stop. Enough is enough. This immediate feedback, this was rooted in an environment of constructive criticism. It was something I grew to rely on. It was a form of caring that helped me refine myself without my emotions interacting. Because here's the thing, I knew that they had my best intentions in their heart. Now, I miss the raw bluntness I experienced. I grew related to it, like it was my best friend. And although I hold bi-weekly debrief sessions with my friends from summer, it simply isn't enough. And I had to find new strategies to sustain my growth and adapt to changing social landscapes around me. In this search for a new method of self-critique and adaptation, I turned to art. Though I'm not a creator in any traditional sense, like we had Arts Week last weekend, I don't draw, sculpt, or film, make music. I'm no good in art. But I found immense value in engaging with movies and music that mirror my experiences. For instance, I bet all the teachers got the reference, but none of students. Good Morning Vietnam, right, where Robin Williams plays a disc jockey with similar euphoria and enthusiasm as I had during the summer. I watched that movie around 5-6 times. Each time I saw something new. And then I love Frank Sinatra. I bet none of you do, but he's old. He's dead, but it's fine. But I've got his songs, I've got the world on a string, just like I did. And I recognize the need to critique the art I consume as a way to indirectly critique myself. If I look at the mirror and don't like what I see, I painted the mirror, and then I became my reflection. And this really helped me grow. Now, to appease my Shakespeare-loving English teacher, I have to end with this quote. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that shares his journey with me shall be my brother. Now, please join me in singing hymn number 662.